Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to episode 2 of One-on-One with Donovan Sharpe. I, of course, am your host, Donovan Sharpe. Guys, be sure to like me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. If you guys want exclusive content, go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. And I know the aspect ratio is a little bit off. I kind of messed with it today, so Terrence and I are looking a little wider than normal. It actually, you know what, it actually looks quite funny, but at least we've got the high definition thing squared away. So listen, last week we didn't get the high definition. I think we were streaming in like 480 or something like that. This week, the aspect ratio is off. No big deal. We'll get all this stuff dialed in. But first, let me introduce today's guest. Today's guest, of course, is a man who doesn't really need any introduction. My man, Terrence Popp. Terrence, listen, man, first off, let me thank you for making the time to come out here. You guys drove all the way from whatever state you live in, and I appreciate you guys making the trip down here, man. I really do.
You know, we're just outside Detroit. So
okay, all right.
It's 9 hours.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I didn't want to. I try not to give people's location. Okay, Terrence doesn't care. Okay, very good. Yeah, Terrence has, what was it, deer antler spray that you had, or bear spray or something?
Oh, it's anti-grizzly bear spray.
Anti-grizzly bear spray. Okay, so doxers out there, if you want to dox Terrence, he is waiting on you with the anti-grizzly bear, spray. Pull your mic a little bit closer if you would. Yeah,
you gotta watch out for those.
Yeah, it's totally
bears.
There we are. Yeah, listen, dox Terrence if you want to.
Face.
So we've got the first question I would like to ask you, because you have a very unique program, Redonkulous, and you have obviously you served over 30 years in the military. What was the genesis? Why do you do what you do?
Well, basically, I do the Redonkulous thing to keep people from putting guns in their mouths.
Okay.
A lot of guys out there are getting crushed by the system, and they don't know. They think they're alone and that they're the only one going through this.
Yeah.
And they're not, because it happens to half the men out there who get married.
Right.
And and I tried. I started secondclasscitizen.org,
okay,
which is a nonprofit that I manage, and I did videos for that. He did the videos. I came up with the ideas.
Okay.
And after about 18 months, I mean, I was just like, oh my God, it's so negative. I just couldn't live in that negative world.
Right.
So I think of everything as war.
Okay.
So I basically changed tactics and how I was going to attack the problem, and it was with comedy.
That's a lot of guys who watch you point to the fact that you do sort of make fun, you make light of certain things, I guess, to help people deal with what's really going on. In your opinion, why is the dating market, why is the system such a bleep show? Go. There we go.
Well, it could be the fact that feminism has destroyed the value of the relationship.
Right.
I mean, they are throwing it out there hand over fist for free.
Yeah.
And then when they get to, the age of 30-ish, 33, they think that they're going to step off of the corn dog carnival. And there will be Prince Charming waiting there with a $10,000 ring and a 3-bedroom ranch and 2 cars. And that is not the case.
No.
Listen, I dated a lot. I know the drill. And, I've been monkey branched.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So I made a whole video about that called, the Back Burner Blues.
Okay.
And it's a comedy video where where I go through all of the symptoms or all of the different things they do, a woman will do to her man when she's in a relationship by moving that man to the back burner.
Yes.
So she can open up more burners for, the next P-Nice.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, because I think we're all, especially with like red pill vernacular, monkey branching, hypergamy, this and that and the other, what is confusing to me is women now, young women, see proof all around them. They see these older women, 35, 40 years old, who are asking, where have all the good men gone? I slept around in my 20s. I thought, just like you said, Prince Charming would be waiting for me when I got done at the corn dog carnival. Prince Charming is no longer there, but then we still have young girls saying, listen, I'm going to sleep around in my 20s. I'm going to get it out of my system, but I'm not going to end up like them. Why don't these idiots get it?
To be honest with you, it's the propaganda that feminism puts in the girls' faces, and it's from kindergarten all the way up through high school. Like, I have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
One of them just graduated, so she's an adult now in the real world. Let's hope everything goes okay.
Yeah.
But throughout the years, I would go to the school and I would see posters and women can do anything.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, nothing for men.
No.
And then, they get out there and they just go crazy, and they don't seem to realize that there's a finite amount of fertility that these women have.
Oh my God, dude.
And at 18, that's 18 to 22 is maximum.
Yes.
And then it goes down from there. By the time they're 33, it's a crapshoot.
So you've got 2 daughters, right? Knowing what you know about the way the world works. Because, obviously I'm sure your audience, hey, Terrence, you've got a couple of daughters. What do you tell them? Tell my audience. I mean, listen, there are guys in my audience. Terrence, I got a daughter, 2 daughters, 3 daughters. How do I shield them? How do I protect them from the scourge of the girl power movement, man? It seems like an almost impossible feat, isn't it?
You just got to tell them the truth.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of times they want to hear it and they'd be mad at me, but I remember a few times I'm like, get in the car.
Right.
Roll out there, and like we're rolling down I-75, which is always under construction. And I will slow down to 45 miles an hour, and I'll tell my daughters, count how many women are working here.
Okay.
We'll go down one side, come back the other. Maybe there's one woman holding like one of the slow down things.
So you actually pointed out in the real world.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. And then there was another time, like they came to fix the AT&T box in front of the house that I own that my mother lives in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, girls, come on out. And I talk to the guy. And I'm like, give me an honest opinion of women who work for AT&T. And he goes,
uh-oh.
They're absolute shit.
She said that actually?
The dude told my daughters that. I go, tell them.
Wow.
He goes, listen, I'm climbing up poles. I'm carrying all these goddamn tools. And it's women just don't do that.
No, they don't.
They're not physically built for it. And for you to say that, which is a reality,
right,
turns you into a villain.
Right. I think what a lot of people don't understand, and I think women included, is men and women are not equal, but that doesn't mean that if they, I guess, abide by traditional gender roles, we are equally important.
They should be valued the same.
There you go.
But they are different.
There you go. There it is.
I
think the reason why, what's interesting, man, I think women almost tell on themselves. They say men are trash. Women need men like fish needs bicycles, and men are this and that and the other. Yet every time we turn around, who are they trying to emulate? Who are they trying to be like? They're trying to be like men.
They're trying. Well, like he brings up the thing about the barbecue.
The barbecue thing, yeah. We just recently on the show, we concocted this analogy. It's like, hey, as a man in the dating market, it's like you're inviting people over to a potluck barbecue. I'm going to be making barbecue ribs. They're going to be delicious. I need you guys to bring some stuff to flesh out the rest of the feast.
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of women who show up with barbecue ribs all covered in like 50 different types of gooey horseradish. It's like, why didn't you bring potato salad or, an actual salad or, baked beans or something?
Right. Rolls or something.
Something to complement the main course. Instead, you're trying to compete for position with it.
That's a very good analogy. That's a very good
when
analogy.
When he came up with that, I was just like, God damn.
Why didn't I think of that?
Food? Yeah, he's totally right.
Yeah, but listen, I understand his point. And listen, if we're going to make any analogies, if we want to make sense to men, we have to talk about food. But yes, we as men, we bring the main course. We bring the ribs. But that doesn't mean that the side dishes are any less important. As a matter of fact, the main course isn't really as good unless you have the side dishes.
Correct.
Because if everybody brings the main course, then nobody brings the main course, right?
It's just a carnivore fest.
Well, listen, man, I don't know that I would have anything against that. I would love to have a rib sandwich with ribs on the side and ribs the drink.
But not every day, though.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
It's like a Ron Swanson Parks and Rec orgasm, which what you just described.
Brandon Robinson with a $10 super chat says, men, you are the prize. It is a scientific fact. There is more estrogen on planet Earth than testosterone. Women are the ones expendable. Even nature knows this. That's why there is more of them than us. No, actually, Brandon, I appreciate the super chat. That is incorrect. Men and women are both expendable, but sperm is cheap. Eggs are expensive, right? And this is actually, I had Joker on a little bit earlier today. He said if there were 1,001 people on the earth, if there was one man and 1,000 women, humanity would survive, right? Yeah. If there were 1,000 men and one woman, we're doomed, right? That proves right there that you only need one. You understand what I'm saying? Women can only give birth to a finite number of people during a very finite time. And understand where Brandon Robinson is coming from. But I think what he means is, men, we're the prize because we have more agency, right? Like we can do more things. What's your opinion on who is, I don't want to say, well, who's the prize, this or that, because obviously we're biased, we're men here. But when you hear women say, hey, women are the prize, men, you need to step up and prove to us why you are worthy of us.
Well, I don't, that's baloney. Listen, women can pick who they're going to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And men decide who they're going to marry.
That's all right.
And marriage used to be a lifetime thing.
Yep.
You locked into that, you're along for the ride. But nowadays, men are being held accountable for laws that were basically cooked up in the 1800s.
Yep.
And women are using the laws of the 21st century.
Wow. Well, what are your thoughts on marriage?
I will never get married again.
Okay, there we go.
No. I will never throw another flying crossbody cock block against my life like that ever again. Holy smoking Joe Frazier, that was terrible.
Tell us about it. I don't want to get too personal, but what happened in the marriage? What happened with Mrs. Popp?
Well, first of all, I got wounded.
Okay.
All right, and before I got deployed, I was a professional fighter. I was a mortgage broker, and I was in the Army National Guard.
Shit, you did it all, man.
I was a very high-functioning alpha dude. Then I went to Iraq, got blown up.
All right.
And I had a TBI, which took a long time to recover from.
And what's a TBI for those who don't know?
Traumatic brain injury. I was basically blown up. Sounds worse than it was. And then, then I basically, in my now ex-wife's mind, she drew a red line through my name, and that was it.
That was that.
And I got rotated out.
Damn. Yeah, I think Rollo Tomasi calls it zeroed out, right?
Well, zeroed out, yeah. I got zeroed out, and then I got hammered by the courts. And everyone's like, this is just the way it is. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? I'm like, this is insane. All my constitutional rights have been violated. These are my children. And then some guy bangs a little wooden hammer on a piece of wood, and I can only see him, 4 days a month. And I'm like, God, take it to the third knuckle. I mean, no way.
God damn, man.
Yeah, and then, it was like it was a nightmare scenario because, my ex-wife decided that she was, no offense, going to go, cuckoo for Cocoa Penis Puffs.
What he means.
Allegedly.
What he means.
For legal reasons.
Listen, what he means is she went out and banged black dudes. I can say that because I'm black.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be honest. Allegedly, there was a couple of Italian sausages in there.
Oh wow,
kielbasa.
Jesus.
There may or may not have been a fire department. I don't know.
Christ. Oh wow.
And I thought well, she's having an affair with. Maybe we can work through this. Then when I found all that out, because I needed to find everything out.
Of course.
It was unrecoverable.
Yeah.
So I'm the one that dropped the papers. Shit.
No shit. So you filed for divorce?
Yeah, I'm not putting up with that.
Okay, so she had an affair, but she wanted to stay with you.
Well, we went to marriage counseling, but I knew because the marriage counselor was like, he was an old
man's fault.
Well, no. The marriage counselor was an old force recon guy from Vietnam.
No shit. Okay.
So we sit down, and then and he's like, after this is over, I'd like to talk to you. So she leaves. He's like, fucking bail. This is not going anywhere good. Make arrangements.
That's fucking
The
great.
bird is on fire. Put the chute on and go out the door.
Abort. Man down, get the hell out.
And I was like very emotional, distraught. And I was like, oh yeah. But I'm still alive because the brain, the voice in the back of your head is like, no, he's right. You need to take steps to. So, So you got out of there.
Yeah.
I had to do what I had to do.
Man, a lot of guys. Now on the other side of that, right? Guys hear stories like this. They hear more stories about divorce rape, I guess, as it were, than women hear about what it's like on the other side of 35. Yet guys are still, guys who watch my channel, Donovan, I know you say X, Y, and Z, but I still want a wife and kids. I still want to, what do you say to the 20-something guy who's like, listen, Terrence, I know about women. I understand red pill truth, yada, 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 but I still want a wife and kids. What do you tell that kid?
Yeah, I'm different.
Yes,
it'll work out for me. She loves me. She's not like that.
Oh, my God.
You know how many times I've heard that?
Oh, my God.
I'm at my desk, and Joe Blow, PFC shows up. So, Popp, I'm going to get married on Friday. I'm like, oh, really? And where did you meet this girl? Oh, well, I met her at Peepers, and she's a waitress, though. Oh,
gotcha. Yes.
I pull out the yellow pages. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Sit down. I write down a number. Yeah. Here you go. What's that? That's a number for a divorce attorney. Because that's what's going to happen. No, she's different. I'm like, okay.
All right. Okay.
18 months later, we're getting divorced. You still have that number? No. I'll write it down again. You're going to move back into the barracks. We're going to do an allotment so you can pay for the attorney. And basically,
guys never learn, man. They really don't.
And unfuck the worm pile. That's his life.
Oh, fuck
And another thing that, people don't seem to understand is a large majority of these military suicides.
Oh, yeah.
70% of them, from my research, have a contact with either a divorce or family court. 70%, and nobody's talking about that. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, it's terrible.
You hear stories again. Cheating in military wives, it's rampant. It's almost the norm. Now, you're the military for...
It is the norm.
It is the norm, yeah.
I was in the military for 33 years.
Wow.
12 of it was guard reserve time.
Okay.
And I did guard reserve time because I refused to get married on active duty.
Okay.
Excuse me. So I got off active duty, went in the guard reserve, decided, finish college, got a good job. Yeah. I was, doing the kickboxing thing, boxing, which I didn't do well at boxing. But, it is what it is. Then I decided I'm getting married. And I thought I did everything right.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 30.
Oh, wow. So you waited longer than I did. I got married at 25. I couldn't wait to walk down the aisle.
And the woman I married, I literally wouldn't even call her my girlfriend for 2 years. After 2 years, I moved in with her, lived with her for a year before I decided to marry her.
Oh, my goodness.
So I have 36 months, and I'm expecting to see the crazy, and then there's no crazy.
Okay.
Because most women can't contain crazy for more than 90 days.
No, they cannot. No, they can't.
So, when it happened, I was just like, oh, man. There's really no right way to do it.
No, there's not.
You just get lucky or you don't.
I think it's luck. I also think it's preparation, and that's why channels like ours exist. I'm never going to be the guy who says completely like there are a lot of guys that say, listen, man, dealing with women on a sexual level is not worth it. And I used to be hard on those guys, but I can't really blame them anymore, especially with hashtag Me Too. We've got these false rape charges. What was the justice that just got accused?
Kavanaugh?
Yeah, he did bad things to me back in 19.
Years ago.
Yeah, get out of here with that. Are you serious?
And he pulls out and he shows up with a calendar. And he's like, I wasn't even in town during.
Unbelievable, man, unbelievable. And people took her seriously.
Yeah,
like there are people out in the lobby. He should be hanged, and
they still think he's some kind of crazy rapist.
Unbelievable, man.
That's terrible. And you know what? We need to start suing these women that do that.
I agree. What do you think? Now that's an interesting thought, because false rape accusations, false accusations, a lot of the reason why they keep happening is because there are no consequences when it is proven that the guy is innocent or she lied. What do you think would be a fair penalty if we were to enact a law right now? We are in the United States of Terrence Popp, okay? Let's just go ahead and declare that right now. We're in the USTP. You're going to enact a law that punishes false accusers. What is that punishment?
It would be it would have two different forks to that law.
Okay.
One would be if the dude does time and it's proven that she lied, then she has to serve the same amount of time he did.
Yep.
That right out the bat. Okay, and then another one is like if you're gonna do, false rape accusations, and you need to pay for his court costs.
Yep.
And you're looking at a high misdemeanor. That's like a maximum of 12 months in jail.
Okay.
If you do it again, it just gets worse from there.
Yeah.
There has to be like a significant penalty.
There has to be.
Yeah.
There has to be.
Right now, that's just.
This is why women falsely accuse men all the time, because there are no consequences.
There's no downside.
There's no downside. It's just like marriage. This is why women are dragging men down the aisle. Men nowadays have literally nothing to gain but everything to lose, right? And I remember there was someone in my chat a couple weeks back. A woman said, marriage is a beautiful thing. Yes, it is. For women, of course, you think marriage is a beautiful thing. You get cash and prizes if you decide to pull the pin and detonate the marriage, right?
Or pull the pin on the fat grenade.
Yes.
Dude, they all pull the pin on the fat grenade, dude.
Yeah, like literally, they're walking down the aisle after the guy says, "I do."
Yep, there it is.
There it is. It's going.
And it starts with the cake. Be like, dude, your wife has eaten half
That's
the cake.
their inoculation to oral sex.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you want to get rid of oral sex, you let those lips touch wedding cake, it's over.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
It's gone.
Absolutely a wrap. Brandon Robinson, another $5 super chat, says, Terrence, love the bad pop days. Please keep the humor coming and keep the sonic ring sounds coming when the state the facts and retro Nintendo music.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I haven't used the sonic ring sounds in forever. I got to bring those back.
Those are from the old ones.
Note to self. Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Got an old school subscriber there. Nigel Diggs, $2, says Popp for president in 2024. There you go. Who would be your running mate if you were to run for president?
Hell, I don't know. I'd probably pick an old mean ass sergeant major.
There you go.
I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this, and then you just tear them up when they don't do it.
There you go.
And I'd be the speechwriter.
Yeah,
like back in the...
Be the White House press secretary.
Yeah,
everybody shut the hell up. He's not coming out today. Chris Von Erich, $5, is another great one-on-one, Donnie. Kudos to Terrence. Keep up the great work. Brandon Robinson, again, $5, says, men, invest in yourself. Build empires, buy toys, invest, build muscle and travel. Don't waste your resources on a woman that is chasing that loser. Real talk. Skyfall with the interesting name. Skyfall with the 20 Canadian dollars says Joker this morning. Now, Terrence Popp, thank you for staying in touch with everyone in the manosphere. I'm fairly certain that you keep up with other content creators, but there seems to be lately, I guess probably in the last 18 months that I've noticed, men in the manosphere seem to be turning on each other, right? You've got the Anthony Johnson, Rollo Tomasi split. You've got
that has been going on since I joined the manosphere.
No shit. See, I didn't realize that. I thought it was new.
That's another reason why I do the comedy thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't really turn on anyone. I mean, I just laugh.
Right.
I mean, I don't agree with everything everyone says, but nobody ever should.
Right.
And comedy is like one of the best ways to bridge all the differences and bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
I think it's sad, man. I think it's the
that's why we're getting defeated, because we're getting divided.
Right.
Like women, they get together in their gaggles or herds or whatever, depending on their calorie intake, and they form huge organizations that people fear, and men are always like fighting with each other.
It's fucking bullshit, man.
Like, you got a problem with it, dude? Like, hey, man, put the gloves on. We're gonna go back.
Right.
I'll take a couple shots, whatever. You win, I win. Doesn't matter. We'll have a beer. It's over.
You've been in fights before. I know you have.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, better than 8 times out of 10 when you trade punches with someone after it's all over, no matter who wins or loses.
They're cool.
You almost, you like the guy afterwards. You're like, all right, you caught me in the nose. All right, I caught you in the eye. Hey, let's go have a beer and be done with it, right?
Yeah, it's like, as long as there's no, cheap shots or kicking on the ground and stuff.
Christ. No.
I mean, I've got my ass handed to me a few times.
Sure.
Kick myself off the parking lot. I'm like,
all right, okay.
I'm done. I just want to have a beer now. Can this be over? Yeah, okay.
That's the difference between men and women, though, right? Men, we can be together even after a physical confrontation. But the problem is a lot of these guys like to just talk a bunch of shit about people. And I actually had one content creator. His name is Obsidian. This dude he's crippled. He's crippled. He's like in his 50s. He's a sad old man who lives with a cane, talking about, I could beat Donovan Sharpe. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like, what are we doing? Like, for real? Like, what are we doing?
You remember the first guy who got pissed off at us and called you an asshole after you made the mangina syndrome?
Oh,
What was his name? Kazumi or something?
I don't
He's
remember.
like a 300-pound mall Santa Claus.
Oh, my God.
And,
He wanted to fight him?
He's an asshole. He made this video. And we're just like, maybe you should learn how to fight and be ready to do so instead of just talking a whole bunch of random crap on the internet.
And another reason I think that what's going on is men have been feminized for the past 3 generations.
Oh yeah.
And they're starting to act and think like women.
Yep.
And women always, the name frenemy exists for a reason. And when a man acts like a frenemy, it's way worse.
It is, man.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Even some of our fans are like that. I've noticed, like, they'll hit me up on the Redonkulous fan page or whatever and start talking trash about some of our sponsors. And I'm like, hey, if we're not working together, then we're kind of working against each other. Like, you want me to actively work and deplatform somebody who's got, their story to tell as well?
It's ridiculous.
They're acting like the inverse of feminists.
No, I agree. And nobody wins playing those games because when content creators go after each other, and there's a certain sector of the web who likes to see that kind of stuff, but that sector of the web doesn't matter. It doesn't really move the needle, right?
No.
Unbelievable, man. Scott Graff says, Popp, did she apologize for even one thing, like killing the dog? Do your kids fear her? What are we talking about there?
Oh, my ex-wife, yeah. Okay. Since I filed for divorce first, my divorce was, the papers were very mild.
Yeah.
Like, I could live in the house, pay my portion of the bills, and because mine got filed first, she was at a disadvantage.
Of course.
Well, I went away to go run heavy machine gun ranges, at Fort Atterbury. Came back after 3 weeks, and my 6-year-old chocolate lab was gone.
Are you kidding
No.
me?
And when I looked at her, I'm like, where's the dog? And she looked at me and she said, I told you I didn't want you living here. She wanted me to, like, snap and, like, take her out or kick her ass. And then, it's an auto win for her. So all I could do was do an about face and leave for a few days until I calmed down. I never saw that dog again.
Oh, my God. So your soon-to-be ex-wife killed your dog because...
she never said she killed him. I got 3 different stories, but listen, I've watched enough detective movies. When the story changes, it's never a good thing.
God damn, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Listen, man, I've heard of women doing some pretty fucked up and vile things, man, but, like, taking a man's dog out, dude.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that was just the tip of the iceberg. One time... But Popp will do this on the fan page sometimes. And I can tell when he's up at about 3 o'clock in the morning and the gin just isn't quite cutting it. Because he'll post stuff to the Facebook page. He actually cut and pasted an email that was written by his ex. And that was some of the most vitriolic hatred that you've ever read in your life. Like, I felt dirty after reading it. Like, I had to go take a shower.
Wow. Holy smokes, man.
Yeah.
God, I can't even, dude, I've never, ever heard anything like that. I've heard of women doing some fucked up shit. That, I think, is the most fucked up thing I have ever heard of a woman doing ever.
And the court didn't do shit about it.
Oh my God.
I'm like, where's my fucking dog? And they're like, it's just a piece of property. I'm like, listen, if she had a dog and I took it out and executed it, I'd be in jail.
That's right.
Straight
Exactly.
up. Yeah, it was disgusting.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Technomage B5, Jesus, with the $50 super chat says, female instinct is universal, hence AWOLT. Use that to your advantage. Keep improving yourself and don't neglect to let her know tactfully. She's replaceable, not required. You choose to stay. 22 plus years married, 28 total. She still wants me. Very good.
All right.
C-Dub with the $5 super chat says, a fair penalty for provably false accusations is the exact amount of time the falsely accused did and or would have spent in jail. That sounds about along the lines where you were at. Norse Raven with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. C-Dub, another $5 super chat, says the problem with new laws for false accusations by women is that they'd have to be enforced. Even ones on the books now are not being enforced.
Yep, that's
There you go.
well, I mean, women do 1/3 the time for the same crime as men, and that needs to stop because feminism is one.
Yeah.
Men and women are equal.
They're equal, so yeah, equal rights and lefts. I think they joke about. Andrew Blue with the $5 super chat. Hopefully that slides under the radar. Appreciate that. Marcellus Thomas, $5. Just question for you, gents. A co-worker who has a boyfriend is coming to me for attention. I give it sparingly. She was cold at first. Now she follows me. What would you do?
First of all, do not fish off the dock at your company.
That's right.
All right,
Fish off the dock.
you don't want that because that never
I want
ends
those
well.
problems.
So terminate that shit immediately. Try to be tactful about it and nice so it doesn't blow up in your face.
Here, pull your mic a little closer.
Right.
Yep, there you go.
So it doesn't blow up in your face, and
Aye.
I'm
I'm going to tell you what, man. Alan Roger, I don't know if you know who he is. He says, don't try to get laid where you get paid.
That's right.
Dude, it's nothing but downside. Let's just say this. This is the theory that I have. Even if you actually fuck this coworker, my assertion is this, because I have made the egregious mistake of having sex with many, many coworkers, and the way it almost always goes is like this. After your relationship affair ends, within 6 months, either one or both of you will no longer be with the company. It could be for any number of reasons, but you guys, you can't be in a relationship with someone at work and then continue to work with them indefinitely. It just doesn't work that way.
No.
Have you ever messed with anybody at work or?
Oh, well, no, I have not. I have
that's
had
good.
the opportunity to. I did have a female officer make accusations
There we go.
against me.
Ooh.
But the thing is I installed a nanny cam in my office.
Yes, this guy's awesome. That's
And
great.
I like the dry erase board thing I do. I had dry erase boards on all the walls in my office because I'm a visual guy.
Sure.
So every day I would come in and write the date on the board. And when somebody would come into my office, I'd turn it on. I had a little thingamajigger under the...
Oh, my God.
And
that's
she comes
awesome.
in and she's like all mad at me and about a penis that was drawn on her calendar.
Now,
you've
did you
never
do
done
that?
I
anyway.
did
Okay,
not
I
do
was gonna
that.
say, did you
I
do
had a
that?
suspicion of who did it.
Okay, but it was
But
not
wasn't
you.
me.
Okay, all right.
And I'm like, listen, I think I might know who did it. I'm going to take care of it. It'll never happen again. I want his name. I'm like, listen, ma'am, I don't do witch hunts. Okay? When I tell you I'm going to take care of it, it means I'm going to take care of it.
Right.
I knew who did it. I was going to go, flip him on the ground and put my
Sure.
foot on his neck. But,
Right.
So she turns it this thing where I was like disrespectful to her and I threatened her and I said all this horrible shit to her and stuff like that. So I get called in there to the battalion commander, the sergeant major's there, and they're basically to put me on the tee to
Yeah, right.
they're gonna fuck me up.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna counsel me. And I'm like, all right, hang on a minute. I'll be right back.
Oh, there it is.
Go back to my office, burn it on the CD, come back in there. This is the altercation that happened between me and this female. They look at it. I have a copy of her sworn statement.
Of course.
And I just fold it and put it in my pocket. And I'm like, this needs to go away. And she needs to be punished for this because this is a false statement.
Wow.
Well, they didn't do anything about it.
Of course not.
Well,
Of course not.
I had a black belt in administrative violence by then. I filed complaints all the way up to the DOD, and it
Good.
came all the way down, and somebody got reassigned.
Good. This is why we always tell our guys, record everything, man. And now here in 2020, it's a lot easier to get your hands on spy software, right?
Oh,
Like, dude, you can get body cams that are this.
$70.
Yeah, easy.
I got
Right.
one in there, right?
Oh shit, hey.
So
right.
no, it's not running right now, but I have
Oh,
one
okay,
in my
all right.
just in case you turn it on, like somebody's gonna get all spicy with you. You turn it on, like, hey,
Yeah, man.
what's up?
We did make a whole episode about that. I believe it's called The Working Man's Survival Guide in the Era of Me Too.
Yep.
And,
Oh.
yeah, that came out last year. Not surprisingly, it didn't get monetized and was kind of
course
swept under
not.
the rug with
course
the rest
not.
of the dust bunnies at YouTube. But
I cover
all good.
a lot of this stuff in a comedic way. I call it a comedic lecture.
Okay. I think what a lot of stuff gets monetized and demonetized, but one thing that is clear, anything that helps men and gives them a decided advantage in any situation, that's the kind of stuff that mainstream media doesn't want put out there. right?
Yep.
Because I mean, if we're advising guys, listen, record everything, dude. I used a recording on my phone to beat a false domestic violence charge. Girl tried to fake a pregnancy on me.
Oh no.
Yeah, she tried to fake a pregnancy on me. She saw that, she sensed that I was getting ready to be out of her life. Tells me she's pregnant. I go to the CVS. I buy 2 pregnancy tests. She pissed negative twice. I turn around to walk away. She's on the phone with the Las Vegas police. Right? Yeah, my boyfriend is over here choking and slapping me. Right now, I can't leave her place. Because if I do, I look guilty. So I turned on my phone's recording. I said, "Listen, man, why are you lying about me choking and slapping you? I'm just so." Dude, she took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. The cops get there. They bang on the door. They get her version of events. They said, "All right, Mr. Sharpe, what about you?" I put both hands in the air, right, because I'm black. I don't want to make any sudden movements. I said, "Officers, I'm going to reach for my phone. Can I do that?" They said, "Yes, you can." I reached for my phone, and I'm praying to every god I can think of that is going to come through. And sure enough, the whole conversation came through. She got arrested, but I don't know if she served any time, nor do I know if she stood trial or anything like that. But that's the kind of thing that saves the lives of men, because if I don't have that, I'm screwed, right? Like, I'm done.
I don't believe you.
Probably got a small fine, slap on the wrist.
Probably. I don't know. For all I know, she probably would. She was hot, so she probably offered to blow the officers on the way, which they probably would have.
Kiss.
She was hot.
An Australian kiss.
It's
I
a
love
down
it.
under kiss. I heard that this morning on
kiss, that's
Joker. I
great.
was like, "Oh, that is genius."
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's funny as hell. Scott Graff, another $6 says, "Pop, how were your kids during visitation? I mean, the dog Sitch was low key serial killer tendencies, I would think."
Yes.
That's how they all start.
Well,
Yeah, right.
yeah, they screwed me on the divorce thing, and I had to fight my way back. It took me like 2 years. I had my ex-wife in court like every 22 days for 2 years.
Goddamn.
And I'd go to see my kids. She wouldn't let them out of the house. I'd call the cops. The cops would come and say, "Hey, it's a civil matter. We can't do anything."
Oh.
But I would say this: I understand that, but now there's a record of you coming to this call.
Right.
And I'd go to the police station and I'd print out, and then the next day I would be at the Macomb County and file all the shit. And luckily for me, my chain of command was like, "Yeah, fuck that bitch.
Yeah, right.
You can file your paperwork. Hammer her." And I was like, "All
Jesus,
right,
man. So what ended up happening?
I got after about 2 years, I get called. I go in there, and the judge is like, "Hey, man, if I see you in here again for this, I'm going to throw you in jail." And I'm like, "Okay, throw me in jail right now. I did SEER school. I'm in the Army, and you throw me in jail, then you guess what? Big Army's going to ask some questions because I haven't done nothing wrong."
Right.
So he's like, "Okay, let's go back to my chambers." We go back in there, and he goes, "All right, what's going on with you?" And I'm like, "She's a whore bitch. I want more time with my kids.
Right.
And I don't think, that's not that much to ask." He's like, "You're right. So this is what we're going to do. That 4 hours on Wednesday, that's bullshit. That's gone. You can have 3 weekends a month."
Wow.
So I'm like, "I want to Monday morning."
Right.
And my ex-wife's in the room throwing a fit. And I go, "Your Honor, why do I have to get ripped off out of the school experience?"
Right.
He goes, "I agree." So I got him from Friday to Monday morning, 3 weekends a month after that.
Man, oh man. Holy
My
shit.
personal favorite court story that he's told
Oh, God.
is I love this. She wants more child support, of course.
They all do,
And
don't
it's
they?
like, I need another $400 a
$300.
month.
Yeah.
$300 a month. Well, Your Honor, she could just go gobbles like 6 or 8 bananas and knock that out half
Oh,
a
wow.
Saturday.
Dude,
All right,
this guy.
All right, this is how that went down. They know how much money you make when you're in the Army.
Sure.
So they're like, "How much money you make?" I'm like, "Let me see your computer, pay chart, circle it right here. That's how much money I make."
Right.
So that they can't get any more money if
No.
the equation doesn't come up with it. So it's like the third time I'm in there, and she's going over, "We're $300 short." And I'm like, "Your Honor, come on. She can suck 6 dicks on a Saturday and make up that $300, no problem."
Oh my God.
And I said that, I hear like this one guy, and he like runs out, just laughing. And the judge has this look on his face. He's like, "Okay, I'll be right back." He had to go into his chamber.
And laugh. He had to
I
laugh,
have to
didn't
go
he?
silently piss
He
myself.
comes back and he's like, "We'll have no more talk like that in this courtroom." Now listen, there's an equation. We plug in the numbers. This is what you get.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Don't do this again. That was it. I didn't have to pay $300 more. You know?
Did she end up going and sucking 6 dicks to make up that extra $300? I mean,
allegedly.
I was gonna say, right? Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly, it might have been a fire department. I don't know.
Oh wow! Wow! Oh, listen, it's all coming together now. We see. Oh, he told me to ask you about a story about how you mailed your commander a Pringles.
Oh no! It wasn't a commander.
Oh, you mailed somebody
All
a
right.
Pringles can full of shit. Tell me about that.
All right, I'm in Ranger School. All right, Ranger School, and the company I was in, it was Alpha Company. These guys are a bunch of sadists.
Sure.
Terrible.
Right.
Terrible.
Right.
And the dropout rate was just phenomenally high. People were getting injured, fucked up, you know.
God damn, man.
So my ranger buddy was from Anglico. He's in the Marines, Navy, and he had a problem staying awake. So I told him, I said, listen, if you fall asleep on me again, and I get another major minus, I'm going to mail you a Pringles can full of shit. And sure enough,
Oh my god.
fell asleep. I got a major minus. I'm like, so whatever.
It
Did
gets
you-
better.
Did you shit into
Well,
the
listen.
Pringles? Okay, all right.
So I get done with Ranger School. I graduate. Had to get recycled because of all the major minuses.
Sure.
And other shit. And I get back to my unit, 2nd Ranger Battalion. I'm there like 3 or 4 months. I decided, you know what? I'm going to mail that Pringles can of shit.
You gotta be kidding me. This is crazy.
So I go I go buy a Pringles can full of chips. I eat them up. My roommate's like, man, you don't like potato chips. I go, I'm just using the can. I'm going to mail some shit to this guy. He's like,
Mail
what?
some shit to this guy.
No pun
That's
intended.
great. Oh, that's great. He probably didn't get it though. Oh, yeah, I was gonna mail some shit
He
to this
thought I
guy.
was just kidding around.
Right.
So, a couple days later, I pick up the can, walk into the train, and then next thing I know, I'm in there, like 8 guys are in there. You shitting in the can, Pop? I'm like, what? They're like,
Ooh, me?
and he told everyone, Pop's going to shit in the can and mail it to somebody.
Allegedly.
So they want to come in there and see
All right,
it.
I want to see what it's all about.
So I shit in the can, wrap it up and, I seal it up, wrap it in paper, write his address on there, put a whole bunch of stamps on there because I'm not going to take it to the post office.
Of course not.
I throw it into the mail bin, and I don't put a return address on it, which saved my ass.
Yes, I would think so.
And I forgot about it. Like 3 weeks, it was like 4 weeks later, I get called down, see the commander, and my platoon starts like, "Hey man, they're fucking pissed off at you. What the fuck did you do?" I'm like, "What? I don't know." I'm like,
Who knows, right?
I'm thinking, we're going drag racing, bar fighting. I'm going through all the usual shit that we were doing. And I get down there, and my commander's on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, he's right here." He's like, he and there's like a box you have to stand in when you're in trouble.
Oh shit.
Get attention. So I'm standing at attention. He's like, He's looking at me. Pringles can full of shit.
And you're like, oh.
It was seeping in the mailroom.
Ah! Oh my god. Oh my god.
And he's sitting like this. And he goes, "Hey, Pop, you have anything to say?" I'm like, "Well, this may or may have something to do with getting fucked in Ranger School." Oh, and as soon as I said that, it went from a 10 to a 6.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So he's on the thing. He goes, "This may be a Ranger School thing." Yeah, somebody fucked somebody in Ranger School. All right, we'll take care of it.
And that was it.
That was it. I had to do like
Wow.
a 24-mile road march, which was worth it.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course it's worth it.
It was worth it.
Jesus Christ.
So
man.
my commander's just like, "Don't mail any more shit to anyone. That is disgusting."
Yes, sir.
And I go, "That may or may not have happened." "Shut up, it happened. Get out of my office." And the first sergeant was sitting there in the office drinking his coffee. He goes, "That's disgusting. Can't believe you did that." Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey, what
That
are you
is
gonna
the
do?
craziest thing I've ever heard.
Say you're gonna do it, you do it.
Yeah, listen, you had 8 witnesses there, right? Say, Pop's going to shit in a can. Yeah, let's all stand around and watch, right?
Now, if it doesn't happen, it's just anticlimactic.
Yeah, I mean, you have to deliver. At that point, you had to
Yeah.
deliver. You had to deliver.
You know, my only mistake is I probably should have wrapped it in plastic and then put it in the can.
Because the dude was out at sea, right? So he didn't get it as soon as he should have. So that's why it was in there just seeping inside of his fucking mailbox. Really?
Because apparently, if the ship is due to come back to port and inside of 30 days,
Yeah.
they don't send the mail out. They just wait till him to come back.
Okay. So, what would have been the best case scenario is that he gets it and then it starts to seep, right? That's the best case scenario.
That would have been it. I just want to open it and go, oh, he sent me a can of shit.
Oh,
That's all.
God.
You imagine
Jesus
the people
Christ.
working in that office, like there's some receptionist out there.
Because,
Like, in
they
there.
had to have
Fuck is
smelled
that?
it for like at least a week.
They had to have, right? Because if
And
it's
then,
seeping
and
out,
then
right?
it got so bad, you're like, something in here smells like shit, and it's like leaking out. Like, God damn it!
I bet Earl's been going to that Del Taco place in the morning again.
Ugh, God. Oh, my God. What did you have for dinner the night before?
I don't even remember.
The jalapeno bean dip would have been probably would have been a lot of fun.
Chow Hall food.
Oh, okay. Well, then it was really bad then.
Yeah.
Really bad. All right, good stuff. Midas Welby, $10, says, I learned the term simp from Popp way back in the day, but nobody seems to understand that's an acronym that really means something significant nowadays. Thoughts? Love you both. Keep it up. A simp is an acronym for something.
Suckers idolizing mediocre pussy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Simp.
dude, I'm Captain fucking Red Pill. I had no idea what that. I've never heard that before. That's good.
Yeah,
I don't know if you came up with that or you got
the
it.
whole simp thing is a real big problem.
Oh, yes, it is
Because
a huge problem.
If it wasn't for all the simps, this shit would die down.
That's right. That's right. We as men, we are as responsible for feminism as women are. If men didn't sign off on this shit, if men didn't simp, then feminism would not be at the point that it is now. Like that, to me, that's just all there is to it. I think that we got to take some responsibility there. Jason Bravo, $10, says, longtime listener, first-time contributor, hell of a collaboration. You two have helped me so much. All we need is Joker and Coach Greg Adams in the same room. Hashtag the 4 horsemen of the manosphere. Looks like we are 2 of the 4 horsemen. All right, very good. I've always wanted to be a part of a 4 horsemen, so that's good.
I never thought I was that big of a deal.
Got to make that happen.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, I'm working on Joker. Greg Adams is going to be here in November, so we'll see what happens with that. Red Pill Mike says, stop taking the red pill, then becoming a threat to the community because you can't accept reality. Stop complaining and explaining and be the best version of a man you can be. Black pill plague. What are your thoughts on the black pill?
What exactly is a black pill?
You know what? It's interesting. I hadn't heard about the black pill until a couple months ago. And apparently the black pill is sort of a more extreme version of the MGTOWs, right?
It's very nihilistic. Like,
yeah.
It's all over anyway. So
Yes, enjoy the decline. We don't want to do anything with women, and anybody who talks about women is...
Well, I personally don't have anything against the black pill mindset if that's how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they're well within their right to say, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I used to be
Fuck
hard.
this shit, I'm out.
I used to be hard on the MGTOW guys in the beginning, but like I said earlier, the worse things get, the more I understand. You know what? I understand why these guys are the way they are. The difference is that black pill guys are actively pursuing red pill guys. Like I get these black pill guys calling my show all the time, just trying to troll and talk a bunch of junk. I'm like, dude, like if you're gonna be miserable, at least do it on your own. But these guys seem very intent on just showing the world, and they only talk shit about red pill guys. They don't really talk shit about women. They don't talk shit. No. They just talk about men who try to help men become better versions of themselves.
I don't know. I mean, that's a technique. It's not the preferred method, but
That makes sense.
I mean, they're well. I mean, I don't agree with everyone, but
Sure.
they are more than welcome to do what they do.
Okay. All right. Very good.
As long as I don't wind up on a 2-way rifle range by surprise.
Yeah, you certainly do not want
I
that.
don't want that.
All right. So what we're gonna do now is I've got a few questions. Dev, if you would go ahead and read that very first Patreon question that we got for Terrence. While she's pulling that up, I'm actually going to pull them. Dude, we got so many questions for you on the YouTube side. I'm going to read the YouTube question first, and then Devin will read the...
All right.
She'll go ahead and read the Patreon question. So, question number 1 from the Patreon side. Should have been more prepared than this. So, the first, it's actually a 3-part question. What is your source material for your butts?
Well, we get a lot of them from Reddit, and then there's another source we go to, which is secret.
So that's a secret. That's a trade secret.
We
Trade
stumbled across
secret.
it kind of on accident.
We don't want it to go away, so it's a secret.
All right.
Originally, when we first started doing the butts thing, like it was just a small running gag, and then all of a sudden we noticed there's dudes in the comments going through and like time tagging each ass and giving it a 1 through 10 rating. I'm like, okay, this is really catching on.
Wow.
So we're gonna have to keep this up, no pun intended. and then eventually we put out a video called "The Call to Arse," And we got fans of the show sending in like pics of their girlfriends' asses. We got one chick who actually lives in Denmark, took pictures of her ass and sent in like 15 of them. I was like,
Yeah,
well, this is
we
nice.
We got a lot of asses.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty good.
Okay, so that thing
we
really took
blew
off.
through those pretty quickly, as far as the supply chain. But then I
No pun intended on the blue, right?
secret stash. And
Jesus Christ. Wow, I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, did they misspell something? But I guess you're right. Your source material for your butts. Next question. What is your preferred liquor?
Well, there's a new salted caramel whiskey I like.
Okay.
There's Jack Apple.
Okay.
I like that too. Let's see.
That honey liquor.
There's this honey liquor I bought, and it's German.
Okay.
It's some type of Jägermeister.
Oh, yeah,
it's
man,
not Jägermeister, but it's
I thought you were going to cry like Robin Williams died again.
Oh, I
when
need
you
to find
drank
another
the
one of
rest
those.
that.
It is really good because it tastes like honey, but it's got a very good high liquor content.
Was it like 80, 90 proof, something like that?
Well, it's like 45.
Okay.
Well, it's 80 some odd proof, 45.
40, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Wow. Okay.
It was pretty good. I need to find another bottle. I haven't been able to locate one as of yet.
Oh, so you can't just go to your local liquor store. It's got to be.
Oh, well, I went there and it was not there anymore. So
That sucks. All right.
I'll have to find it.
Did Alejandro Villanueva's stance crush the NFL social justice for this year?
Okay, now that's the guy who put the
Pittsburgh
name
Steelers.
of a dead soldier on the back of his helmet.
Yes.
He put it over the criminals that the NFL wants to put on their uniform.
Yes, right.
I think that if the NFL wants to, save itself from the get woke, go broke thing that's coming down the pipe for them, a lot more of these players seem to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Their ratings are tanking.
Yes, they are. They are absolutely tanking. I think they're down 15% year over year.
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, the professional sports for me is dead forever.
You think so?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to give them one more second or penny of my time.
Okay.
1 more second or 1 cent of my money. I'm done.
All right.
Done.
And that is because of all of the social justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It used to be the last bastion of like meritocracy that
Yes.
we had left, and now
That's
it's
gone.
going away.
NASCAR's even in it. I'm like, forget it.
Wow. How about that?
Didn't a NASCAR chick just recently quit so that she could become a porn star on OnlyFans too?
She wasn't in NASCAR. I think she drove an open wheel race car, but I know who you're talking about.
Well, more
Yeah.
power to her.
I mean, listen, if that's what she wants to do, but she has to understand that on the back end there is a price to pay.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
that's the problem with these OnlyFans girls. Listen, man, I'll never besmirch a woman for shaking what her mama gave her, right? Yeah. If you're a good-looking woman, dude, it has never been more easy for good-looking women to become very wealthy very quickly.
Correct.
If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But don't then come around when you're 30, 33, 35, I can't get a job because of my OnlyFans account. And I've been doing OnlyFans for the last 5 years, so I don't really have any qualifications. Hey, listen, that's the price you pay, man. Like, this is what are your thoughts on working girls who monetize their beauty?
Well, first, again, my opinion is very close to yours.
Okay.
If that's what they want to do, that's what they do. This is America.
That's right.
I'm cool with it. But guess what?
Consequences.
There's consequences.
That's right.
Like, for instance, I myself do not have deep relationships with any woman who has anything to do with the sex industry.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, I'll be friends with them.
Talk to them, whatever.
Maybe once in a while, bang one here and there if I get lucky.
Deep relationship.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
They're not moving in my house.
Oh,
I mean, it's just not happening. I'm sorry. And a lot of men think exactly like me.
okay. Listen, I am in that camp. I'm in that camp. If you are part of the sex trade, more power to you, but I'm not committing to you. All right, Dev, we've got our first Patreon question ready here for either Terrence or I. Go ahead and read that aloud for us.
Okay, it says, question for you both. What would it take for the epiphany of the mainstream media to recognize the struggle and plight of men now that the law underrepresents them?
Ooh.
Wow, that's a good question, man.
Well, there's really we'd have to get like some high. It has to either be a black woman or a black man.
Yep.
To do it. That's one way. Or
Johnny Depp sure isn't doing the trick.
there needs to be a lot of bloodshed.
Okay. All right.
Or something just needs to happen to where the balance shifts and it becomes very unpopular and unprofitable for the media to keep spoon-feeding
There you
that
go.
narrative.
Yeah.
Because it all always boils down to money.
Of course.
It
Absolutely.
always boils down to money.
If something flies in the face of reality and you want to know why, usually it's money.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And listen, I think we've all seen just Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, Steve Harvey. It's far more profitable telling women what they want to hear than telling them what they need to hear, right? And I think that's along those same lines.
Like I tell the truth, and it's gotten me a lot of trouble.
Sure. Oh,
Because
shit.
they want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want. I just tell them how it is.
That kind of goes along with what you were asking earlier, like what feeds into the girl power advocate mindset. With the internet, it is easier than ever to find an echo chamber of pure confirmation bias, and then you just immerse yourself in it.
Yep.
I got a question here from YouTube. It says, are you worried about catching herpetogonosyphilis?
Herpetogonosyphilis.
All right.
Where the hell did that? Is that's not real? Is it? No.
Oh,
No.
That was
That's-
early,
that's-
first season.
I invented that.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
All right. Now, in the Army, before you do PT, you have a formation, and you ask, is there anyone going on sick call? And you have a little bunch of slips. You write their name, and then block 4, you like reason for sick call.
Right.
Twisted ankle, sore throat, whatever. And this one guy named Riggs, that motherfucker caught VD all the time.
Wow.
So this one particular day, Riggs, what are you going for? Doesn't answer. VD. I write VD in there, give it to him. Now, normally he goes down there, they give him 2 shots in the butt and some pills. He comes back, he gets yelled at. It's all done by 11 o'clock. Well, Riggs doesn't come back at 11 o'clock.
Right.
I get called in to see the commander after lunch. Commander's like, hey, Riggs has got syphilis. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, how did Riggs get syphilis? I'm like, sir, I don't know. I'm not fucking him. So he's like, God damn it, it's not funny. It's serious shit. The state police are involved. And I had to actually,
That was
actually,
the 16-year-old, right? Or the
well, I
15-year-old?
had to call all of the women that he was banging.
Yeah.
So I went to ask him on that. I need their numbers. He's like, well, I don't remember them all. Okay, that's fine. The first woman I'm
It's
calling
like
is your
another old
mother.
piece of
You
parchment.
told him that?
Yeah. He's like, oh, so he dumps off. He gives me all the names, like 6 or 7 of them. I'm calling down the line. I'm like, yeah, you know this guy named Riggs? Yeah, he has syphilis. Oh, my God. And I'm like, yeah, you can come to Madigan, and they'll treat you. You're fine.
Madigan Army Hospital. That
Yes.
is in Washington State.
That's right.
The reason I know this is because I had eye surgery there.
Yeah.
I was an 8-year-old boy. Wow. See, small world.
Yeah. And I went down the list, and finally I called this one person, and this one woman answers, and I asked for the girl. She's, well, yeah, she's here, but anything you have to say, you can say to me because I'm her mother, and she's
Right.
16. So I'm like, well, your daughter may or may not have syphilis.
Oh my God.
So then, after that happened, I came up with the words herpetogonosyphilis to cover everything.
Wow. Holy shit,
Riggs
man.
got everything into the book. If he's still alive,
He's probably dead by now. I mean, probably rotted out from the bottom up.
Got another question concerning libtards and general life. Says, how do you control your temper in a public or workplace, especially when you can't walk away?
Oh, the same way I handle facing death. I laugh.
Okay.
Because nothing trips up death and misery faster than a deep belly laugh. I thought I turned that off.
So you're spying on us, huh?
Yeah,
Guess the battery's a little bit low.
All right, just don't worry about it.
Anyway.
Just,
Does Terrence Popp... Oh, this is an interesting question. This guy wants to know, does Terrence Popp control or suppress his military PTSD seizures in public?
well, I have a lot of fucking problems with that, and I don't really have seizures, but it's difficult. Like for instance, I from the TBI, there's residual damage.
Yeah.
And if you watch a lot of my shows, I touch my face a lot.
Yeah.
It's because, I feel like I have insects crawling on my face pretty much
Wow. I did notice that.
all the
Wow.
time. All the time.
Holy shit.
So like I'll be like talking and it feels like a big bug's across your face, and I'll be like, you know, and it's hard to stop.
Sure.
You know.
Look like you're drinking cheap wine.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, you know. That, you know, and then I try not to drive anytime between like 2 in the afternoon and 6 because I have problems with like traffic.
Okay.
I cannot go in a traffic circle
Oh my God.
because that's in Iraq. That was a bullseye for death.
Oh, okay.
So, like
okay.
you go in the traffic circle, chances are somebody's taking pot shots at you.
Shit, man.
Man, those are supposed to be safer, but I feel like I'm taking my life in my own hands every time I go through one of those things. People just yield. Oh, that means go.
Yeah, but you know, there's other things I have to deal with, and it's challenging.
Sure.
But I did a whole video on PTSD to try to help other people who suffer from it.
Okay.
And explain how that whole thing works.
If you had it to do again, would you do it the same way?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I saved a lot of lives.
Okay.
I made a big difference. I had a lot of fun. I would change very little, other than I would have stayed on active duty.
No shit. Okay. Wow. So 33 years wasn't enough, you don't think?
Well, I mean, staying on active duty, they cut you out. They cut you off at 30.
Really?
Yeah, 30 active years, you're done, no matter what.
Oh wow.
But I would have been able to do. You know, I would have worked my way up to Delta Force. And all that
Yeah.
shit. I mean, I had all the tools and abilities.
Dude, I think you probably could have been become. See, guys like you either become you, as in YouTube Terrence Popp, or an assassin. There's no in between.
I have the skills.
We've allegedly
Wow.
had discussions about that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, YouTube. Allegedly. Let's not get carried away. Dev, you've got another question from one of my patrons.
Yes, we can hear you.
Mhm.
At this point, the fourth wave feminism has pretty much made interaction between the sexes FUBAR. Recent court cases, like the millionaire simp in Toronto, display activist judges moving the goalposts in what defines a common law spouse and lowering the bar for ruling on alimony payments. Men are throwing in the towel. Women seem to be more and more aware of the existence of the crimson capsule. My question for both of you: where do you see this going in the next 5 to 10 years? Will the pendulum swing back, or will it just get worse?
Wow, that is a very good
Well,
question.
I'll be honest. One that when we were already not at replacement rate for the birth,
Mm-hmm.
when that gets really low, they'll have no choice but to, try to change shit around.
Yeah.
Because that's
Birth
it.
rates are low. Birth rates are low. People aren't getting married.
Because we are now looking at men who have seen their fathers, grandfathers, and possibly their great grandfathers get run through the ringer.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they're like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
yeah. I mean, fuck that. Sorry for swearing on the show.
Oh, no, it's fine. I do all the
But,
time.
I
Fuck.
I have absolutely zero sympathy for the women out there of today
Yeah.
who can't find a good man. I just don't.
Right.
When you rule the roost from 15 to 35 and you can't make
You
it work,
still can't get it right? Exactly.
Yeah, but the thing is like, I have seen, all of the suicides and carnage that's taken place, especially over all the time I did in the military.
Sure.
It like a 22-year-old who just got married and he's going through divorce, all of a sudden rides his motorcycle at 180 miles an hour into, a wall.
Oh, my God, man.
Or, that's an accident.
Sure.
Of course it is.
God damn, man.
human soup is an accident.
That's incredible,
All of
man.
them shooting themselves, drowning themselves, drink themselves to death, take pills. I mean, it's just a never-ending cycle of carnage.
So cheating in the military is commonplace. And from what I'm
It's the
hearing
norm.
So I guess talk to me about guys in the military who commit suicide. Is it really that rampant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, dude.
We did our first film that we worked on together 12 years ago. We got the stats all together, and more veterans killed themselves in 1 year than the entire Iraqi-Afghani conflict
my
up till
God.
that point.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
And here's another thing, and I think the numbers are higher than that, because if you get off out of the military after about 5 years, you're no longer really tracked.
Right.
You're just a civilian. Unless nobody's actively tracking that.
So the numbers are higher. So
Yeah.
just because you're a civilian, you're a civilian, but you're always a veteran, right?
Yeah.
Man, so the numbers are probably higher.
And that 22 a day is high. That's what they say now, but I think it's higher than that.
That is incredible, man. That's incredible. And nobody talks about this stuff.
No.
You don't hear about this stuff. I mean, you hear about like the Wounded Warrior Project, you know, guys who've gotten limbs blown off, things of that nature, but they don't really deal with the mental side.
I mean, look at you go to combat, you believe in the country, you come back, you have PTSD, you wind up going to court, they take your kids away, turn you into a wage slave, and on top of that, you have PTSD. A lot of guys
can't handle it, dude.
Fucking checking out, man.
Yeah. God damn, man, that's crazy. All right, Dev, we got a voicemail question.
Hey, Donovan, it's Brandon.
Here, turn that up a little bit.
Hey, man, for the show today, I have a question for Terrence.
Okay.
Hey, Terrence.
Yeah, that's okay. I've already listened to the
in your
question, so.
experience coming out of the military and watching guys get married, and then when they come back.
All right, go ahead.
Yes.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Start over.
All right, I'll start it over, okay?
Roger that.
Hey, Donovan, it's Brandon from Texas. Hey, man, for the show today, I have a question for Terrence. Hey, Terrence, in your experience coming out of the military and watching guys get married, and then when they come back to their homes here in the West after they fight these battles for us, and they come home to a broken home because their wife decides to abruptly divorce them or has the papers waiting on them right when they get back. I just had a question, man. I'm a paramedic that's currently deployed to help fight the virus right now, and I've been gone from home. And, man, girl I'm talking to back at home is just acting weird. I've been gone for 2 months, though, and I'm just trying to connect the dots here and just help me out with – just let me know if there's any correlation, any ties with this. Anyway, thanks for what you do also, man. Thanks for your content, guys. Keep it coming. We need it.
It's Brandon from Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can think of 3 videos he needs to watch.
Okay.
One would be the back burner blues, pre-divorce mentality,
Okay.
and administrative violence.
Wow. Okay. Wow. The answer just like that. Again, Terrence Popp, guys. Go to his channel. A lot of guys go through this, man. They get deployed, and after a few weeks, their girlfriend starts to act a little bit crazy. She's cheating on him, right? Of course she is.
And if they find out they're getting deployed, I did a video called Deploy Ahoy, where I talk you through all the steps to protect yourself so you don't come back to the tumbleweed and dust pot.
Oh, yeah.
Of nothing, because they'll clean out your bank account.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen guys that have all this furniture sold,
What?
motorcycles gone, guns, everything gone. And there's nothing they can do because this woman had power of attorney over everything.
Oh, my God. Okay, now, dude, I didn't know. Listen, this is
Getting spun up.
This is crazy. Like, I knew there was some fucked up shit going on with military wives and girlfriends, but I didn't know we're selling furniture and motorcycles and cleaning out bank accounts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
It happens all the time.
Why? I just don't understand why men are knowingly getting into military guys who are just going into the military. They hear the stories.
Yep.
They see the stories, but they still get into these relationships.
Yeah, well, because I want to marry that pussy and lock it
God.
in because she loves me.
I'm different.
I'm different.
I'm
and she's
different.
different.
And think about it from the female side of things too. You know, if you're talking about your stereotypical banana gobbler,
Yeah,
as
right,
she would
right,
say,
right.
and I love that expression, cucumber connoisseur, eggplant
Enthusiasts,
you know.
yes.
I mean, it's a no-lose situation for them. They're signing up to get a high-quality dude who is gonna never be home and send back the check,
That's it.
and they get to pretend they're single the whole time he's gone.
Correct.
And then as soon as he comes back, they have a pre-packaged excuse. Well, he's not the same as he was when he left, so
or
we're gonna have to call it quits.
I was alone and I needed somebody.
Get out of here. Get the hell
You needed
outta
like
here.
48 somebodies, apparently.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
48. God damn. He went to 48. I was thinking 12 or 20. Wow, okay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And it's so funny. Women can rack up a body count so fast, man. A woman can fuck 12 guys in 12 days, and that can sometimes be a conservative number, man. You don't think these military wives and girlfriends are doing the same thing, man?
I know they are. I used to see it all the time.
Jesus Christ.
When I was in the
man.
Ranger Battalion, I remember I used to go to this place, the Madigan Club, and you can always tell when the 9th ID went to the field
Yeah.
because it would be packed in there.
God almighty. So they're all cheating.
It'd be packed.
Fuck. God damn, this is crazy. Osama Abdu says, Popp, $5 says, Popp, how long were you active duty in the Army, and what were you born, raised?
Oh, okay. So I did 33 years in the military. 21 of it was active duty time.
Okay.
And I grew up just outside Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
In Oak Park.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, that's
rough part of town, man. Well, Detroit, right? When I hear Detroit, I think of the 67%, of the rundown buildings and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. What's Detroit like these days? Because I've never been to Detroit. I've flown over Detroit, and it is depressing.
It's terrible. Well, first of all, when I was a kid, I used to go on the roof of my house in Oak Park.
Yeah.
On the night before Halloween, it was called Devil's
Night. God,
and
almighty.
I would watch all of the house fires that would take place.
Wow.
There'd be hundreds of them.
So Eminem was telling the truth, huh?
Yep. Even the people who love the city, because I was pretty big in the filmmaker community there for a while. We'd all hang out together. A producer friend of mine calls me up, hey, you want to come out and sit on the roof of my loft and listen to the gunshots on Devil's Night? This is fun?
Wow, okay.
Right, so should I bring my flak jacket?
Sounds romantic, yeah, right?
Yeah. No, it was pretty crazy. And unfortunately, like a lot of stuff, these riots have taken place in some of the other cities. That's going to be them.
Minneapolis is well on its way.
I mean, they're just going to abandon those cities,
and
they're going to wind up like Detroit.
Dude, it takes decades to recover from that kind of stuff, man.
Detroit hasn't recovered.
No, right,
right.
Fuck, man. Oh my God.
In 1958, they used to call Detroit the Paris of the West.
They did. And now it's Detroit.
It's when I was growing up, I mean, it was a war zone. God. And their court system and everything is corrupt. I make it a point to not go into Wayne County at all if I can avoid it.
Dude, to hell with that, man. Wow. We got to talk about Detroit sometime, man. That's incredible. I don't know anyone. My mother abandoned us and chased some crackhead to Detroit. I don't know. I'll never understand that. Or actually, I do now. But Darun Abain says 90% no evidence, guilty, innocent last, 10% 50-50 truth, lie later, 40% found innocent. So 70% all assault accusations are lies. Okay. Huerfano Producciones with 2,500 CLPs says bad Popp is my drunk father figure. Greetings from Viña del Mar, Chile. Space Ghost. Very good. Very good. Ray Kaufman, $5 says I stayed home one deployment from injury. The wives would come through in miniskirts looking for guys while their husbands were away. Oh my God, this is crazy. The Sage's Apprentice with a $5 super chat says every girl wants her EIB. Everybody in the barracks. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Oh man, some of the stories that he's told about that. Whew.
Yeah. CQ.
Fucking hell, man. Ed Lattimore, $10 says when I enlisted, they were shifting away from ACE for suicide position to the BS Sharpe. A shame. Also, that poop story was the funniest thing I've heard in a while.
I told you that was gold, man.
Oh my God.
That's true. I did it. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
That's
another thing I don't do is I'm really bad at lying.
Yeah, so why do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I could lie and deceive, I would have retired from the CIA. So.
Dev, go ahead and queue up the next question for us. I think, is
this a headphone one?
Yeah. Brandon in Texas. This one, Brandon in Texas was really, really low. Crank up the headphone because I should be.
It's already full max.
All
so.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's hit the play button and we'll see if we can all hear it.
Okay. This is Eric in Akron.
Okay.
I have a question for both of you, Terrence and Don.
Hear it pretty good?
I'm 20 years old, and I was wondering if you had any solid advice or just something that you would recommend about relationships with women for someone under the age of 25, for guys who want to get married eventually, have a family, grow up. Should I stay away from women for now? What should I do? Thanks.
All right, so this individual's under 25.
Yeah.
And he wants to go out and do his deal, which is fine. Just make sure you wrap your tool. Don't be a fool.
Right.
Okay. And I mean, do what you got to do. I mean, at that age, you should really be focusing on your future and making yourself a better person. Because I want to be honest, if you can do that, the women will find you.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with you. I think my advice to guys, and it's hard not to focus on women because at 25 you're a walking boner, right? Like that's all you think about.
You're dick thinking.
Yeah, dude, that's all you're doing. Like you're just one giant cock.
It doesn't stop until 34.
No, and oh god, yes. And at 34, like that's the last thing you're thinking about, except for like maybe once a week. But it's very, very difficult to focus on other things besides sex because your hormones are all over the place. All you're thinking about is fucking. But you have to have dick discipline, man. When I say dick discipline, you have to wrap your junk, man, because the worst thing that can happen to a guy under the age of 20, dude, under the age of 30, 35 is to have a child. Oh my God. Having a kid. How old were you when you had your children, by the way?
My first was born when I was 33.
Okay. All right, good. So you weren't in over your head.
No. I mean, I knew the deal.
Okay.
I did it on purpose.
Good. Okay, so you
It wasn't
having a kid by an accident.
Startled me moment.
No, I agree. All right, Dev, what's our next Patreon question?
Our next Patreon question is, if you had the knowledge you have now back when you were in the Army about female nature, what would you have done differently?
Ooh.
Okay, well, there's a couple ways I could come at this. Like, number one, like I said earlier, I probably would have stayed on active duty and just maxed out, the time and did all the cool shit. Well, I did a lot of cool shit. But
Sure. Cooler shit.
But if I did go down that road, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be just a face in the crowd by now and just a normal. And, I've helped a lot of people. And I think that's, more important.
No, I agree.
And I did a little poem about this, So.
Oh, he's a poet too, huh?
If I knew then what I know now, then half the man I'd be. Because it's all of the strife in between that makes you who you be.
Another Shakespeare. There we are. Terrence Shakespeare Popp. I like that. That's pretty good. King Life. I'm sorry, Scott Graff. Another $6 super chat says, Popp, did she poison your kids against you? She got custody after the animal abuse. Her future boyfriends should be wary. So did she talk shit about you to your daughters behind your back?
Yeah.
Of course.
That did happen. I was able to shut it down a lot, though, because I was a good dad.
Of course. And she shot herself in the foot. You can't do away with someone's dog and be like, your dad's not shit. Like, you can't do that, right?
Yeah, and the thing is like, I was always really adamant about not shit-talking their mother in front of them at all.
Right.
I think I did it one time, and my daughter called me out on it. She was like 9. And I looked at her, and I said, all right, you're absolutely correct. That will never happen again.
Okay.
And it never did.
Good. And it's good that your daughter had the wherewithal to understand, hey, Dad, Yeah. And it's funny. I'll bet you she never did that with your ex-wife because they know. At the end of the day, I think kids know. Like, you can shit talk the ex all you want to, but in the end, kids know what's really up. I think they're a lot smarter than I think we give them credit for.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Well, that's good. I'm just glad that your kids don't think your kids probably do think you're crazy, but in a good way.
I'm cool. I mean, I don't have a problem being
Stop breathing, Dad.
the crazy uncle, crazy dad. Like, my nephews are. I'm the crazy uncle.
That's probably accurate. King Life $5 says my Army ex told me her husband is active duty. Does that mean he's not around most of the time?
Yes.
Oh wow.
If he's deployed, yes.
Okay. All right. Quick and dirty. Tom A, $5 says Popp and Donovan were the first exposure I had to the Red Pill community. This is too cool. Hope y'all had a great weekend winning. Very good. I love the winning thing. Do you remember that whole Charlie Sheen winning, like the tiger blood? We found out he had AIDS, but then Charlie Sheen is something else, man. I remember he sort of had his 15 minutes after the whole 2.5 Men thing went up in smoke. Yeah. Ashton Kutcher sucked on 2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen was the best. He was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Red Pill Mike, $5 says women sitting in bars begging to smash while their husbands are fighting abroad should be forced to spend a month in active combat. Your thoughts?
I wouldn't. Well, first of all, when you go to active combat, you need to have everyone up there knowing what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't just willy-nilly throw people up there.
Yeah, right.
You get people killed.
I think that was
So,
maybe,
you know,
right.
I mean, a month, kick their ass for a month.
Yeah.
All right. I have
Okay.
no problem with that.
Good stuff. Jason Bravo, $10 says, Popp, you're the father I needed. I used to be progressive-minded, but thanks to you, my political ideology is beginning to shift. What is your prediction for the general election? Hashtag vote for masculinity. Now we've come to the point to where we can get into the politics a little bit. So what are your thoughts? Just to sort of piggyback on Jason's question, what are your thoughts on the political landscape? And number one, I'm a Trump guy, 100%. That's just how I am. A lot of people say, oh, Trump is a racist and this and that and the other. I think a lot of people are beginning to understand that the whole Trump is racist narrative is indeed a narrative. What are your thoughts on the whole election thing?
Well, first of all, this is going to be a very dynamic situation coming up.
Yes, it is.
I would like to see Trump reelected.
Okay.
Now, am I a diehard, beat the drum Trump guy? Yes and no.
You're not the MAGA hat wearing out in the open, right?
I voted for him because he's the only president since Jimmy Carter who went against China.
Yeah.
And, I mean, when I have seen our country just get destroyed with all of our jobs and money being siphoned overseas.
Yep.
It's getting to the point where people want a living wage from McDonald's. McDonald's was not designed to work like that.
Right.
All right. You want a living wage, we need to bring back those jobs here.
Yeah.
And he's the only one that's doing it. So that's why I voted for him, and I'm going to vote for him again. Now, I have a really, hard time with the left, which, in my opinion, has gone full communist socialist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they're actively perpetrating an insurrection.
Okay.
And that'll go on for a certain amount of time, and if the government can't get their hands around it, you're going to have a lot of these people, militias, or whatever you want to call them, come forward.
Listen, man, this might be extreme, but I think we could be on the verge of, dare I say, a civil war. What are your thoughts?
I've done videos on this. I've seen it coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a tactical thinker.
Yeah.
I've studied guerrilla warfare.
That's what appears to be happening because we are no longer the United States of America. I think the most united we ever were was right after 9/11. But year and a half after that, we're pretty divided, and we continue to be pretty divided.
Yeah, and the media is doing.
Of course.
They're feeding. I mean, I did propaganda for a while.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
My last 10 years in the military, I was civil affairs. I did propaganda.
Oh, shit. Oh, wow.
Shit.
Okay, so you have unique insight into that.
Yeah, so,
okay.
I watch it on TV. I'm like, this is goddamn propaganda.
Yeah, it's, wow. See, I didn't know.
I did a video about that and how you can identify it and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's
we
fascinating.
call
I
us
didn't
the
know.
Soviet Union now.
Soviet Union, Jesus Christ. Ivan Drago.
I mean, I've got a lot of experience on all this crazy
That is incredible. I didn't know you had a background in that. I think that gives you a unique perspective, not only the perspective, but to identify propaganda when you see it. I think a lot of people probably underestimate that about you, I would think.
Well, I've a lot of liberal friends who are just totally just been bought out by the propaganda machine, and you try to tell them the truth, I think I'm like some crazy dude. I'm like, all right, well.
I read one comment on Facebook this morning. Well, Antifa's just an idea. It's not really an organization. I'm like, oh, they do exist.
How many videos did I do on them where I rip apart the organization? I mean,
I follow the money. That's all you gotta do.
I send those to my guys who are still in the service working in Intel, and they're like, God damn, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, right. Of course. Here's another question from one of our patrons. I'm actually going to read this one. With the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, do you guys think Trump will nominate someone who will dismantle the feminist agenda?
Well,
listen, he's going to bring in his John Roberts, Sam Alito,
The feminist agenda is going to be really hard to take on right now.
Yeah.
Unless you need to have some serious shit going down for you to be able to quash that. I did a commercial aimed right at Trump in regards to the suicides.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything on that. I don't think he watches my shit. I hope he does, but it is what it is. But if he really should put somebody in there that is a conservative, male or female.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Yeah.
And let's start dismantling a lot of this crazy bullshit that the left has built over the past 15, 20 years.
Conservative females, the only two conservative females in politics that I'm aware of is Michelle Bachmann and Sarah Palin. I think those are the only two that I can think of, right?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
We could get a Candace Owens in there. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, man.
I like her. She
Yeah.
speaks the truth.
Yeah, she's very intelligent too. Like she's a very good. You can't really beat her in an argument. Like she takes these guys on.
She's whip smart.
Well, I mean, because she just tells the truth. It's
Yeah.
hard to beat the truth.
Yeah,
Oh, they try.
They try, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Fiery but peaceful.
Here's my prediction for the election, and I actually made this prediction the last election. I was actually on the. This is when Dev and I had first started dating. I remember the moment where I knew Trump was going to win. I remember thinking, "Holy shit, he's actually going to win!" I couldn't look, dude. I could not believe it because we knew that he was going to get blitzkrieg. We knew Hillary was going to be the next president, and I think he pulled off the greatest upset in political history. I think that's the greatest upset ever. Bill Clinton, he was more of a movement. McCain never had a chance against Obama. Obama was a full-fledged movement, but nobody thought that Trump was going to be the president. And the prediction that I made on election night of 2016 is the 2020 election. We are going to have the largest voter turnout in U.S. history. More people are going to vote in this election than have ever voted in any other election in the 50, 60, 70 some odd years in the United States.
Well, I
do you
think we're going to have 50 million more people that live in the country vote in 2020.
You're
There's gonna be a lot
probably
of
right.
Dead people, a lot of cats.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been dead since the 60s.
Yeah, right.
Dig them up.
Dig him up. Get his social security number.
Just hook them up to a car battery and marionette those limbs. You're all good.
What's up, Dev?
Also, with COVID, the mail-in votes are going quantify, multiply the number of votes that are going to be counted.
Oh, they've
You don't
already
have to show up anymore.
You got mail-in ballots going to old residences, so you got one person getting 2 ballots at 2 different places, and whoever's living there now, if they feel like it, just take out your ballot, fill it out, throw it back in the mail.
Are we really going to know who wins? Because
I don't know.
it sounds to me like we're not really going to get an accurate count.
No, I don't think so. And I think the Democrats are setting the stage for a open civil war with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Mark Zuckerberg coming out and saying, well, we should be prepared not to know who wins on election night. And now Michigan and I think Pennsylvania are coming out and saying, yeah, well, we're going to be still counting ballots for at least 14 days after the election. Yeah, because that's not going to give a whole bunch of people a bunch of time to harvest ballots, copy them.
God.
Oh.
This is going to be,
It's a nut
a
roll.
shit show.
Yeah.
Oh, my
It'll be
God.
a shit show.
But it's Trump who's undermining confidence in our institutions by wanting to use the same ones we've always used. Not the
Right.
people. It's not the people trying to pull a fast one and bring in the new one that's completely untested and has caused problems every single place that it's been implemented so far. They're the good guys. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, my God. I'd never really thought about that angle, but everybody gets on Donald Trump because he talks about fake news. The reason he talks about fake news is because fake news exists. It absolutely
Propaganda.
exists. Yes.
Propaganda.
I mean, when you see CNN fiery but peaceful, like you're standing in front of a burning
Yes, the
building.
peaceful protest, and there's people. Yeah, they're burning. Yeah, all
Shit's
sorts of.
exploding.
Dude, let's getting bottles thrown at him. Well, there's some of that, but it's not generally speaking unruly.
Jesus Christ.
That's
man.
the CNN equivalent of "she loves me."
Tom A, $20 says the true red pill American values are worth conserving. We used to have that gravity that held us all together, but it seems that there is a seething hate for our way of life that started in academia in the early 2000s. Golden rule. I would agree with that. Cowdenicus, Condoleezza Rice. There's another conservative female that I forgot about. Or Trey Gowdy for the SCOTUS.
Ooh, Trey Gowdy.
Yes,
Gowdy, I'd be
I like
down for
that.
that.
Yeah,
I would take Trey. I'd take Trey Gowdy. I
Trey
like
or
that.
Condi.
That guy's hilarious.
He tells the truth.
That's probably why he's hilarious. Scott Graff, another $5 super chat says, Pop, did you have to pay? Boy, they're getting personal with you. Did you have to pay spousal support?
No.
That judge, okay. He said that judge should have been disbarred if you did, so you did not have to pay spousal support.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I
Good, so
didn't
you
pay
got
child
that
support.
clean.
That's it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. My God. Technomage B5, $10 says electoral votes was 270. Is it? You can have 300 million votes in Illinois or 3. It's still only 20 electoral college votes. That's exactly how Trump won the presidency. He didn't win the popular vote, but he won the electoral.
Well, that's the popular vote is that's still up in the air. But the whole thing with the electoral college, if you get rid of that, then you have a lot of states that will have no say.
That's right.
In what's going on.
Absolutely. And that's what people don't understand is that California is so densely populated, but it's only one vote for one person. The electoral votes were created so that a person's vote in California is equal to a person's vote in South Dakota. That's how that works.
But if you think it's bad now, you just wait to get rid of the electoral college, and there's no reason for a lot of the states to stay in the union.
Oh, yeah.
Well, essentially, at that point, you've got New York, Texas, California, and
Texas
Michigan.
is always trying to secede, aren't they? Right?
And now California is talking about seceding.
Oh, dude, they can't afford to secede. Dude, California can't afford to pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell's going to fund that, right?
They are so bankrupt.
Yeah, like they can't secede. Dude, they can't afford
And
anything.
the Democrats would never let it happen because if California secedes from the union,
That's a
they
wrap.
would never win another election.
A wrap. That is a wrap. That's a very good point. Red Pill Mike, $5 says, when you are trying to change a system of voting that has never been questioned before, ever, you are clearly trying to rig the election. It's obvious. What are your thoughts on that?
I thoroughly agree.
Okay.
That's nail on the head right there.
I don't understand why people don't understand that. Like, you are going to be screwed. They are screwing the system up.
Just bend over and make it easy.
They are priming a 3-shell Monty with a penis that's going to go right in your ass and surprise you. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
That's good.
Going wrong way up 285.
You're like, all right, let's go ahead. Penis going right in your ass.
Oh, Jesus. Hashtag penis.
Hashtag Hershey Highway.
Yes. Oh, Jesus Christ.
We were laughing coming through Pennsylvania because he's like, I can't remember which interstate it is that's the Hershey Highway because I always called it Highway 235. Turns out it's Highway 285.
285.
Leads right into Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Highway. So we could do hashtag 285 or Highway 285 for.
You can take that up to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and get some chocolate.
Or you can drive through Missouri and go to the Uranus Fudge Factory.
There we go.
Literally, they have these billboards, and you drive by them, and it's the best fudge comes from Uranus. Okay, should we pull over? That's hilarious.
It's good that they can laugh at themselves, though, right? It's good that we can still tell dirty jokes in the United States. That seems to be something of a lost art.
In the United States, maybe not on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Right, but who's paying attention there? How do we as men adapt to a dating market run by women?
Well, you do so on your own terms.
Oh.
Either on your own terms or at your own peril.
You know what makes women hot? A man with options.
That's right. That's right.
So you just do it at your own terms. The minute you feel like you're going the friend zone,
out. Hit the eject button, dude.
I have a saying for that. When in doubt, asshole your way out. Because assholes will get a second chance.
Yes, they will.
Friends will not.
Wow. Dude, assholes will get a second chance. Friends will not. Remember that, boys and girls. That's very, very good advice. Here's another question from the same guy. Advice for men who, quote, fear dying alone, so they simp to compensate. That's a very interesting question.
Well, let's see. I've almost died several times myself. There was nobody there holding my hand. Everyone dies alone.
Yep.
There is no, side saddle coffin for two. It is what it is. I mean, this whole myth that you're going to have your family standing around your bed and holding your hand. You know how often that happens?
Dude.
Very rarely.
The last person that actually pulled it off was Luciano Pavarotti. Right?
Yeah.
He's the last person that I know of who died with his family around him. And that's because he was worth something like, I don't know, $30 billion or $30 million or something like that.
They all wanted their slice of the pie.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
I mean, granted, it is what it is. I mean, that's the truth. You just have to deal with it.
Yeah, right. I think you just have to wrap your mind around the fact that you are going to die alone. Listen, you were born alone. You're going to die alone.
And simping's not going to help that. In fact, you're going to make the problem worse because then you finance and encourage the same entitlement that eventually you wind up blaming for being alone.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and then you're really alone, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because then you can't even respect yourself.
Here's the biggest question this person is asking. Advice to family and friends who pressure men to get married and have kids, or they will think I'm gay or something's wrong with me. How do red pill men deal with that? Wow. Okay, so what this person is asking is, my family and friends are pressuring me to get married and have kids. If not, they think I'm gay. What is your advice to that guy?
I did a whole video on this one.
Oh my
What
goodness.
do we call it?
It was how to tell your friends and family you're never getting married.
You're never getting married.
Okay.
And I think I started off with, tell them to suck my dick. I ain't doing that shit. I saw what happened to my father, and that ain't happened to me.
Right.
So pound some sand, not getting married, and not gay. There you go.
Right. Just tell them straight up, man.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to explain shit to anybody. Listen, I'm not gay. I'm not getting married. Like, what the fuck, dude? Fuck out of here.
Well, that's all an offshoot of the same, blame and shame tactics that you get from the pink taxidermists about, when you say, like, well, I'm big towel or red pill, I'm not going to, throw my hat into that ring. Well, you must be gay. Or, do you have a bad relationship with your mom?
Oh, right.
Who hurt you?
love your mother. Who hurt you? Oh, yeah,
Yep.
It's all the same. It's all the same shaming tactics. Scott asked on the YouTube side. He's super chatted several times. He said, have you dated since you lost your dog? What do women say about your story if they view your channel? Wow, that's interesting.
Well, I dated the horse chick, and I did a video about that when I broke up with her. But not since. I mean,
Okay.
a couple flings here and there.
Sure. So when you get involved with a woman, what do they say? I mean, do you tell them about what you do? Do you tell them about your? I mean, like, how does that work?
Oh, dude, tell them about the stuff you used to do on Craigslist. Back when they still had the personals on
Oh,
there.
they still had-
oh,
oh, my
man.
God.
Yeah.
Good times, huh?
I used to get on the Craigslist at night when I was taking Ambien and drinking.
That's
how we wound up
And
with
I
a
would go to
battle axe.
personals. And I would I'd pull, like, some of them would have all of these crazy criteria. 6 feet tall, have his
Oh,
own
God,
face.
right.
We all know that.
Sure.
And I'd respond back to him like, you are on Craigslist. You're at the bottom of the barrel. You are like 30 some odd years old. And what are you doing? This is insane. And they're like, you're just an asshole. They attack me back, and I'd go back and forth with them. Like,
And by the way, watch these
Great
videos.
and I'd send them videos and rip them apart. No, it's great. Glorious.
Yeah, we wound up doing a whole episode on internet dating because of that.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
How many videos have you done? I mean,
700 something.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been on
Oh, wow.
YouTube for 7 years.
yeah, you guys should have way more subscribers, man. Way more
Well,
subscribers.
that's another thing is like, we're trying to change some stuff around to, put some money in our pockets.
Yeah,
because, with all those videos on YouTube, we get paid like $200.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we upload them, and instantaneously, it's either limited or no monetization allowed whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got some fans recently who got mad because we announced some new plans, like, hey, we're going to have some exclusive content moving forward, and guys are like,
Yes.
well, that's just too much. It's not worth it. It's like, well, we're not getting paid here, man. Pretty much everything. And you load up any of our videos on YouTube, if you actually see an ad that isn't directly featured in the video by one of our awesome sponsors, then let us know, because we're not seeing it.
Right.
They're not paying us.
Yeah, this is a lesson that I had to learn. What you got, Dev? Oh, okay. I guess she just wanted to look at me. Yeah, that's one of the lessons that I had to learn. And I'll talk to you guys about this at dinner. I'm gonna definitely steer you guys in the right direction, because it can be done. It's not gonna be easy, but I think between the two of you, you guys can definitely do this. I've been deplatformed on everything. I've been deplatformed from YouTube twice, Vimeo twice, even though I paid them, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm waiting on Patreon to give me the axe at some point in time. But what ended up happening in my sector, in my neck of the woods, every time they deplatform me, they put more money in my pocket, because you can't find my content anywhere. They take my content down and you can't find it anywhere. And so a strategy that I have used as of late, and I've told my audience this, the only videos that get to stay up on YouTube are the ones that have the green dollar sign. Okay? Does that make them bulletproof? I don't know. All I can do, like with women, is try to decrease my risk or mitigate it as best I can. Because the closer I get to 100,000, the more my detractors are going to try to get my channel taken down just short of 100,000. So far, so good, right? I'm at 93.2, something like that. Who knows if I'll ever hit it? But those are the steps that I've taken. But But what I have learned is that when I make my content available for free, it gets reported, it gets taken down. And so when I tell my audience, guys, I can only do this on Patreon, they're completely cool with it because they see me getting taken down everywhere. Nobody works for free. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I watch you guys' content. A lot goes into that. It's not, and listen, I can tell you from personal experience, it's not easy creating consistent content that is good. Not easy. It takes time, it takes equipment, and it takes money. And I mean, unless you guys have some sort of secret fortune that I'm unaware of, right, exactly. At some point, you have to start to see at least a little bit of return on your investment, at least break even. Am I wrong?
Well, it's definitely, helped. Our Patreons are really, the only reason, that we're able to still reinvest into it, because that's what we've been doing consistently all along. I mean, we started out in my apartment with 2 whiteboards up on the wall, filming a few episodes. Then eventually we moved it into a basement.
I remember I paid for all those out of my own pocket.
Yeah, right.
And then
it's not cheap, right?
Yeah, and I had cameras that I, was paying for out of my own pocket.
Yeah, right.
It's still the same thing now.
Sure.
But every time I'm able to upgrade, I bring that upgrade to the show. We upgraded the lighting, and even when we switched over to the bar set, which was about 2-3 years ago at this point, it was an investment to bring that to the table. Get a little old neon sign on the bar that was actually donated by my brother. And then over time, they get a little more signs on the wall. We got the silver play button up there. Eventually, we start to populate it so it actually looks a little bit more busy and more fun to look at. But yeah, it took a long, long time to get there.
Yeah.
And a lot of investment.
You guys do good work, and there's no reason you guys can't at least start to reap some of the benefits. Dude, you've been at this for 6 years, man. I haven't been on YouTube for 6 years. I started out writing for Return of Kings. So I've been at this in March. It will be 7 years. I've been on YouTube now for 3.5, 4 years. It's not easy doing this stuff, man. And I really do. That's one of the reasons I wanted you guys to come out here so I could give you guys some of the wisdom that I've learned, because you guys have been at this longer than me. And I feel like it's not fair. It's just not fair. It's like we got guys who put out crappy girls. Let's just take girls. There are girls who have nothing but a smartphone. Dude, 3 days later, they've got 300,000 subscribers. They're making all this money. It is what it is as far as that's concerned. But when you have to deal with throttling and shadow banning, but like I said, I think I have some intel that can really, really help you guys out, because you guys, people really need to hear you guys a lot more, because you guys do very, very good work.
Anyone who believes in male privilege has never tracked female to male subscriber counts on YouTube.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. No way. Yeah, they're male privilege. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man, because there are creators out there whose content I actually enjoy. Shoe on Head, for example, comes to mind. She does decent content, but it's literally just her, no special microphone, in front of a webcam on her computer that I think records at like 19 frames a second, and she's got 4 million subscribers. You want to know why? Because she's cute.
That's it. Tits. Right. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not going to hate on that, right?
No, I'm not going to hate on it. Good hustle.
Right. But as men, we adapt and we adjust. And listen, man, it's hard enough creating content as it is. But then men like us, we're having to fight against the very platforms that we're using to get the word out. It's just... But like I said, I think I have probably figured it out. Listen, they'll probably move the goalpost one more time on me in another 6 months, at which point I'll be more than prepared to move on. But you guys deserve better. So hopefully I can give you guys a little bit of insight on why I've been successful here, and hopefully you guys can take advantage of that.
All right.
Gray's Soul says, I am in California.
California State.
California, yes. I'm trying to survive it, but I don't know how much longer I can hold out. Move to Nevada, Gray Soul. I knew a lot of guys in Las Vegas who were from San Diego, San Francisco, LA, that area. A lot of California expats, so to speak, live in Las Vegas. It is truly, I mean, I'm telling you right now, just go from California to Las Vegas, you're going to change your life. Channel 1-800-DUMB. Interesting. With the 5 NZs, says, Blake, why do you always hide like Columbo's wife, bro? Love these 3 guys. That's funny.
Why do I always I don't know. It became kind of a running gag after a while that I was always behind the camera.
Yeah.
And I think we slowly started working my way on it. And like everybody has seen this part of me at this point, with the screen fives.
Screen 5.
And it became such a running gag that when I decided to create the character of Toxic Male, I still wanted to keep that mystique because, my arm is basically a character on the show and everybody knows my voice, but I wanted to have somebody that was different of it.
Yes, I could do the little Stewie voice there. I pretty likes it when I do Stewie, especially when I say the word bitch. Cool whip. Cool whip.
Yeah, right.
Would you like to eat some wheat things, Mr. Sharp?
That's pretty good. 1,200 people watching, guys, who are watching One-on-One with Donovan Sharpe with special guest Terrence Popp. As we round for third and head for home, let's talk a little bit about the dating market. I know this is kind of a general question, but there is a guy on YouTube, and I just had it pulled up in my phone literally. So he wants to know, and this is sort of a cheat code question, and I don't really like cheat code questions. I just, I like more specific questions. But he says, what are 5 major things men must consistently do to be successful in life?
Dick discipline. That's definitely.
Dick discipline is absolutely number 1.
Finish high school.
Yep. Okay.
Make a plan.
Okay.
Stick to that. Do not compromise anything for a woman.
Right.
Because if you make a plan, you stick to that plan, you get a woman, and all of a sudden you don't want to do that.
No.
And they never steer you anywhere good.
Jesus, man. Yeah, you're
All
right
right.
with that.
And try to live your life without regret.
Those are Terrence's 5. I don't know. I don't really think that I have 5. I think dick discipline is definitely number 1. Don't stick your dick. I mean, listen, if you're going to stick your dick in crazy, just make sure you've got your condom friend there with you. I call it my 35-35 rule. Before any man should think about a long-term relationship, you need to be at least 35 years old and have slept with at least 35 women. No, that's not a foolproof, bulletproof way, but you are far less likely to be susceptible to the wiles of women that tend to stupefy men and knocking them off their square or their plan, as it were. That's my 2 cents. Dev, what is the next Patreon question there for the panel?
What is your view on being a father figure for thousands of young men?
Oh, wow.
Well,
He's the crazy drunk uncle.
I prefer to be referred to as the crazy drunk uncle.
Okay.
Because it's always the crazy uncle who teaches them stuff that they just don't get from their regular family.
Why is that? And that's true everywhere. It's always the crazy uncle who teaches the most valuable lessons. Why doesn't that come from dad anymore?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I can tell how many times to be like, hey, come here. What's going on?
Don't do that.
I think because if dad tells the truth about what life was like before mom and that gets back to mom, someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm telling you, man. And that's the problem is that she wears the pants in the family and happy wife, happy life, dude.
That's such bullshit.
Oh, my God. 100% bullshit. What is the next Patreon question there, Dev?
Donovan and Terrence, what were the main things or events that took place in your life that made you unplug from the mainstream media and think for yourself? Additionally, do you have any recommendations for books or other resources aside from the Rational Male series that can assist younger men in thinking for themselves and ignoring the mainstream media rhetoric?
So what was your red pill awakening?
I got divorced.
Oh, okay.
That'll do it.
That was such a slap in the face. I was like, what the fuck?
What was the Google search that led you to the red pill community?
I was trying to find attorneys to fight the whole goddamn thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But, that's just really no attorney out there that wants to do that. And then I found I got in league with the men's rights activists.
Yeah.
And I heard they were going to put on an international conference for men in Detroit. I think it was like 2013, 14.
Okay.
And then I was going to get canceled at the last minute because of some terrorist threats from some.
Oh, wow.
It was insane. So I got a hold of Paul Elam, and I'm like, no. This is my backyard.
Yeah, right.
This shit's going down. Found him a new venue, worked it all out, and then I was,
That was that.
That was
You
that.
ever meet Paul?
Yeah.
I think he's supposed to be at the 21 again this year, no?
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I met him a few times.
Fought a lot of battles.
I don't have anything negative to say.
Okay.
Yeah, half the time when he tries to get these dudes together, I mean, it's ironic. You've got these wage gap enthusiasts who constantly say that men need to be more in touch with their feelings. You need to fight against the societal expectation that you're going to be these hard, toxic males. And then what happens when men actually get together and try to do that? They pick it outside, they pull fire alarms, and try to shout you off.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Mehdi Naha with the €5 super chat asks, what is a man? That's interesting.
Wow. Well, I did a video about that one too.
Okay.
Man rules.
Let's see, man rules.
We need to come up with an acronym for man, because you have one for dick. That's a deployable insemination carrier kit.
But that is absolutely accurate. Dev, do we have any more Patreon questions?
Sure. How do you control your own temper in the public or workspace, especially when you can't walk away?
I laugh.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, literally. I mean, I can't tell how many times I wanted to just crush somebody.
You gotta remove yourself from the. Yeah, like if your dog disappears, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna tell you what, dude. You're a better man than me, because if that had been me, I would not be sitting here. Listen, dude, I'm a 4-time convicted felon, so I can't vote anyway. That would have been, I'd have been up there with OJ. Man. I'm just gonna let you know right now.
If it don't fit, you got to quit.
Yeah, well, listen, there's a whole thing on that. Man, this was fun, guys. This was a lot of fun. We are about to go and have us a big juicy steak.
All right.
And yeah, man, we're gonna take you guys to a real nice steakhouse here close by. Listen, Terrence, man, thank you very, very much for being on the show. I greatly appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. I'm kind of new at this. Blake, absolutely, thanks for being here. By the way, Blake is going to be the guy here to my right is going to be the cameraman for Womanese Volume 3. So Blake is going to be, he's going to be the man behind the camera for Womanese Volume 3. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Hopefully, I can talk the both of you into coming out to an event that I'm putting together. I'm doing an event in Las Vegas, and it's going to be right around the end of the spring, maybe early summer. And it's going to be, it's going to be the same, but there are going to be some differences. I'm actually going to try sort of like a practical approach. So listen, we'll talk more about this off camera. I would love to see you guys there. Any closing thoughts, Deb? Any other questions that we need to address?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you guys very much for joining us for One-on-One with Donovan Sharpe. This was Season 1, Episode 2. And we will see you guys next Saturday, where we will be joined by Steve the Dean Williams, as there we are, camera 4. Steve the Dean Williams and Mr. Lucario. I am in talks right now with Tommy Sotomayor. We're trying to get our schedule straightened out. He might be here this week, maybe next weekend, but he will absolutely be here, so we're still working on that. Again, thank you to Terrence for making the time for us. Thank you to Blake for taking care of everything on